You know how sometimes you have that defining moment where you're like, I have to make a change. This is not okay. I can no longer live like this. Well, that's the switch. And here on Powerfully Her, episode 9, we're going to talk about that switch. See you inside. Hey, I'm so excited. I know I just listened to snaps. I didn't know what else to do, but so glad you're here. Episode 9. We're doing it. We're doing it, queens. We are doing it. We are showing up for us. We are showing up in such a big way. I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much for showing up. I love you so much. Love you, love you, love you. To God, to my family, the man behind the brand, my hubby. I love you, babe. All my friends, family, love you all. And just this community we're building, Powerfully Her. Love you all. Thank you. No matter where you are in the world, I see you, I feel you, I hear you. And this is for you. Let's get started. Okay, so in this episode, we're going to talk about the switch. That switch, that defining moment where you're like, you know what? Something has to change. I can no longer take this. I can no longer feel this way. That moment where you're like, I can't do this. I'm done. Enough is enough. I cannot. This is not right. This is not me. I do not belong here. I need to be further along in life. This is not it. And we've all had those moments. We've all had those moments where you're like, I cannot do this. I cannot. And you know that feeling of just like, it just pours out of you like something is wrong. This is not right. And I want you to think about that. Think about the time where you've had that switch or multiple switches. It can happen multiple times in life where you're like, no, I need that pivotal moment. I need that change, that leap, that giant leap that we need to make to change our life for the better. Think about those moments you've had, or maybe you're having it now. Maybe you're having that moment right now. And if you are, I am so proud of you. And I'm so proud to be included in your journey in that. You just hearing this. I just love that. And I really hope this podcast is providing so much guidance and light and support and love for you, because that's why I do it. This is why we do it. To show up every week for you, because I know what it feels like not to have that. I know what it feels like not to be seen, feeling, felt, and heard. I know what it feels like not to feel comfortable in my own skin and not to love myself. I know what it feels like. Although that was a long time ago, I know what it feels like. It doesn't change the feeling and it being there, okay? Because sometimes what happens is as time goes on, that feeling tends to go away. But sometimes those dark feelings, they're still there. That pain can still be there if we are not giving the right support and healing to help ease the pain. Well, eventually, sometimes it won't go away. So that switch I'm talking about could be anything. It could be in your personal life. It could be in your professional life. It could be anything. It could even just be a conversation. It could just be a thought process. It could be an actual change, positive change. It could be that. It could definitely be that. It could be sometimes you're at work and you're like, you know what? I know I worked hard for this position. I know that person that got the position over me should not have gotten that position. And I worked really hard for that. And now I might have to train that person. I know that's happened. Okay. I know. And that switch where you're just like, what am I going to do? Something has to change. I have to make a change. And by no means am I saying up and quit your job. I'm not saying like Nadira from Hamlet. I didn't say that. I will never do that. I will never just say, I just want you to move towards goodness and what's right. But I won't ever say just jump off the ship and just like, no, don't jump ship. I'm not going to do that. I want to make sure you're good. Okay. I want to make sure you're good. But it could be that. It could be a relationship. It could be, well, like, you know what? This relationship is not working for me. I'm not being supported. I'm not being respected. I'm not being loved. I'm not being seen, felt, and heard. It could be those things. It could be anything. But I want you to think about the switch that you know that maybe you've made, that defining moment or need to make. Think about those moments. Or think about that moment that you're having where you're stuck right now. And you're like, I'm in limbo. I'm at a layover. I don't know what it looks like. If I take that step, what does it look like for me? I myself went through that switch too. Not just one switch. Again, the switch it's not ever just one. Sometimes it's more than one, but that one can change everything. It can change everything for the better. And this is why it's so important to unpack what things can look like. It can look better on the other side. It can clean. It can. When they say the grass is not greener on the other side, sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. Yeah. Sometimes it is. Yeah, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it isn't, but sometimes it is. And we won't know if we don't take that try, if we don't take the risk. And that's what the switch is. The switch is you were taking a risk, but it ultimately is you're taking a risk where you're taking that leap of faith, knowing that God willing, God is going to take care of it. That's what it is. It's just faith. Really, that switch is faith. It's like, I'm stepping out on faith, God. You said you got me. What does this look like? Right? I mean, truly, what better, what more paramount time to have? We should always have faith, but have that faith in God where you're just like, God, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. But I know in my heart I need to walk away, but I don't know what that's going to look like. I'm afraid. I'm scared. I don't know. I'm crying at night. I'm crying all day. This is in my mind that I know I need to make the switch, but I just don't know what that looks like. I'm so afraid. I feel alone. And I want you to know, I know what that feels like. But I also want you to know that it is just to be able to have a life that you want, just to know it's possible. And I know I keep saying about dreaming with your eyes open. It's possible. And that's going to be episode 10, just so you know. So hope you stay tuned. Is that you can have the life that you want. You can have an amazing life. You can bring the people that love you and support you along the journey with you. Everyone you touch that you care about can have a better life because of you. That's possible. It can happen when you're not tired all the time and spent all the time. It can happen. It can happen. So for me, the switch happened in, oh God, was it before COVID? I think it was before COVID. It was before COVID. Yes, it was before I had my son. And it was a customer that had a previous field I worked in. And he's a pretty quirky guy. Quirky, he will always say quirky things here and there. Had this banter. And he said to me one time, well, he was walking out the door. I was in the front. I was at customer service. And he came to me and he said, he turned around I kid you not, y'all. It was like in a movie. You know how when something turned around, it was like that. I kid you not, it was just like that. So he's walking around and he turns around. He looks straight at it, like into me, like into me, my soul. That's how it felt. He was looking at my soul. He said, if you do not leave this place, you're going to hate yourself. I said, excuse me? I said, what did you say? He said, if you do not leave this place, you are going to hate yourself. And I was just like, I'm pretty dramatic. I'm pretty animated person. And I was like, what? And he walked out. He walked out, y'all. He walked out the door. So me being a God-fearing, believing woman, I knew exactly who that was and what that was. I knew that was all God. There was no mystery for me. There was no, wasn't lost on me. Like, oh my God, well, where did that come from? And why did he say that? What does this mean? I knew exactly who it came from, who was saying it, what it was meant for, what did I needed to do. I knew. And that's the important thing. There's in that is so much value, so much lessons. Number one is the clarity we get from putting God first is huge. Because when you put God first, he tells us ahead of time, life is a test. You're going to have bumps, but trust in me, I got you. He says, stand firm. He says in the book, stand firm and remember me. So along with so many other things he says that we need for our life. So when we're walking with the word of God. So we know what God has told us, right? We know that it's going to be tests. Things are going to happen. We know. But if we stand firm and believe in him, faith and ease is around the corner. And we stand true to being good to others and being kind and using our gifts and putting more good in the world, you will have a good life. It can be some turbulent water sometimes. There is going to be storms, but God is the umbrella. He supports you. So just knowing that already, that framework of God, boom, know that. So I had that, the clarity. I knew it was coming from God. So I wasn't confused of why is it saying this? I knew that God put gifts in me and aspirations and had goals, and I knew things I wanted to do. And when I would be in my previous field of work, that's all I thought about. That's all I thought about is having the life I really wanted. I saw people throughout all the day, just living life on their terms. And I knew it was possible. And living life on their terms and in happiness, right? I knew that there's freedom. I knew that living check to check doesn't have to always be. I knew that I can give more than I ever thought possible. Time, money, no matter. I knew that whatever I wanted, if I believed strong in God and myself, I can have it. And I knew if I worked hard enough, it's possible, right? So clarity, I was well aware. But the thing is, I was just like, okay, so the only thing that was lost on me is what's going to happen for that to happen, for that jump to happen, that leap that I talk about. And that's where most of us are like, okay, you believe in God, you know, you got gifts, you know, you want more, but what is that defining moment? What's going to have to happen for that change, that positive change, that difference, that goodness, the good new, what does that look like? And that's the thing. That's where it's just like trusting in God is just like, God is like, well, this is why you trust in me. That's the thing part. So it can be scary. It can be scary, but just know when you trust in God, it is possible. So that's one of the biggest which I can think of. And what makes it so, what makes the story, it can be unbelievable if you're not a believer. And what can make it is when I spoke to the customer, like many days later, weeks later, I said to him, I said, hey, remember when you told me what you told me? You remember you told me that I had to leave this job or we're going to hate myself? He was like, no, I never said that to you. I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, yes, you did. I said, you told me that I had to leave this job or I was going to hate myself. He's like, no. And I'm like, okay, that's all God. God, he spoke through him. He spoke through this dude. He spoke through him to me. And I was for me. And the funny thing is, it was only he and I around. No one else was in sight. And the funny thing is, whenever he and I would talk, or he would talk to any of my other coworkers, he would never say things like that. He never said anything deep. It was always something funny or silly. You know, I said he was a quirky guy. He never spoke like that ever. So when he said what he said to me, it was crazy because he's never spoken like that before to any of us. And the fact that he said it not once but twice, it's like God was just like, oh no, you heard me the first time, but I'm gonna say it a second time to you, Nadira. Listen up. You listen? And again, like I said, I knew because I know how God works. But then when I asked the customer and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, I was like, okay, all right. God, that was all you. I get it. That was just, you were talking directly to me. That was for me. He was like, yeah, it was. So I just want to say to you, queens, I want to say to you, powerfully her, think about those moments. Think about those moments. And think just about, the life you want, Like if you're dreaming all day and you're thinking all day about how you want your life better, you got to do something about it. You got to do something about it because it's not right. It's not right. It's not right for you to not feel good in your own skin. It's not right for you not to be joyous and happy and filled with jubilee when you wake up. It's not good for you not to have joy in your day. You're just annoyed all the time and just feel all this angst inside of you all the time. It's not good. We want to switch that anxiety to excitement. They say that same feeling of anxiety and excitement are so similar. But it's about how it's at that mindset switch. You see the switch? It's that switch again, that mindset switch that we all need to have. And it's about always having clarity. We have to be very clear on who we are, very firm on who we are and what we want. It is. You're around people that are very, and again, being a woman of many, many, many things that you are, you got a lot on your plate, leadership things, personal, professional, there's a lot on your plate. So you're used to leadership. You're used to leading and do all of those things, but also you want to be able to sit back and be able to have, just to have that comfort of knowing that you're good and you have the life that you want. And I get it. I still get it. But having that clarity, that firm faith, back to when you have someone that is a high achiever, high achievers, like you are, Powerfully Queen, are very, very geared onto very they say they're straight A, very focused on what you want. There's not every time you're going to come up to someone that is a high achiever and they don't know what they want. They know what they want so much, they'll make you, they help you with your belief. They're like, no, that's wrong. You're thinking wrong. Cut that out. And you're like, oh my God, well, should they be talking to me like that? Yes. As long as they're not being disrespectful, but yes, it depends what it is. But yes, because sometimes we have to, 100%, we have to disrupt that negative thinking for sure. We got to destroy it. But you need to be around someone that's firm and intense about who they are and who you are to help you get to where you are. This is why I am the way I am. My dad is that way. Before my dad passed in 2019, God rest his soul, him and my little brother, my dad was firm. He said, Nadira, you have to have a firm faith, conviction, steel will. And his belief is so strong and his character and his heart is so strong. You just be in a room, you like next to him, you feel the power. And you like, I'm energized just being around my dad. And that's powerful. And Queen, you got that in you too. You have that in you too. You have that. You have all of that. Oh no, let's check on my teeth. There's something that happened. If it is, I apologize. We keep it real here. You have that too. See, the thing is that the trick of the enemy is to make you believe that once it's somebody else says it, it's not in you. So when someone's just like, oh, that person's so talented. Oh, they're so gifted. So were you. So were you. Oh, that person did. And so were you. Stop riding on other people's gifts and talents and focus on you. Remember, the switch, the first switch that we need to start making is in here. We need to switch our mindset. What does it look like for you? What do you want your life to look like for you? That's the thing. It's very, very important. That switch. How is that? So you have to, before we get to the physical switch and making moves in our life, what kind of moves are we making? Momentum. What are we doing? Before we get there, this has to be right. Because if this is not right, it's going to be very hard for you to make the move. This is why I said putting God first and having clarity. Because if you don't have those two things in check, faith and clarity, when it is time for God's like, all right, this is the time, let's go take the leap, you won't know what to do. You're like, oh God, I don't know where to go. I don't know. Because like me, I didn't know what event was going to happen to propel me to where I am now. I didn't know, but I knew I had faith in God, firm faith in God, and I know I have clarity. I just didn't know what event would happen to propel it to happen. I didn't know that. That stays with God. I didn't know that. All knowledge is with Him. I didn't know. But for you, if you're switched, if you're not in here and having a firm faith in Him and clarity of who you are, what you want, how special, beautiful you are, what are your gifts and talents? If you're not clear on those things, it's going to be very hard when that moment, that special event arises, that occasion, when it comes, if you are not ready to rise, it's going to pass you by. And that's unfortunate. And that's heartbreaking. And that's not your story. So therefore, Queen, if that's not your story, we're not going to give life to that. Yes, yes? I like when Lisa Nichols says that. Yes, yes? Yes, yes. Right? So we're not going to give life to that. We're not going to do that. We are going to get firm on our faith with God. Let's work on that. Let's do the inner work, because it's the inner work that's going to help us with the outer work. If we're not firm in here and we're not right on the inside, it doesn't matter what you do on the outside, because it all comes from within, right? So those are the things that we have to continuously be consistent and work on. Be disciplined with it. Be clear on who you are, Queen, and what you want. So when your beautiful times come, Queen, you are ready. Whether it could be another job opportunity, whether it's open up your own business, whether it is to start a new relationship, walk away from a relationship, whatever it is, to start that new venture, whatever it is, to start using your gifts, whatever it is, beautiful, Queen, powerfully her, whatever it is, I implore you to start doing the work, the switch. What is your switch? I want you to think about that. Think about your switch. And if you feel good, again, I said I'm very big on community and communication, and put it in the comments on YouTube. Tell me, what is that switch? What is that switch for you? What is that defining moment? Just what? Maybe it's multiple. Sometimes it's multiple. Most times it is. But that one that you could think of that really changed things for the better for you. Think about that, because that's supposed to be your story. Your switch is your story, and it is supposed to be beautiful and special and wonderful, because you are. And I don't care what anybody else said about you, any negativity. I don't want to hear that. I'm not subscribing to that. I care about you. I'm glad you're here. Bump all the haters. You need to start showing up for you. Okay? So anyone that you know that needs to hear this episode or any other episodes, send it to them, Queens, because it's about us empowering each other. Remember, we're not competing with one another. It's not about, remember, it's not me against we. It's not you against we. It's you versus you, me against me, you versus you. We're not going over there looking at that, because that's not clarity. There's no way you can get clarity when you're focused on somebody else. There's no way. There's no way you can get clarity when you're focusing on someone else. If your focus is on you instead of focus on yourself, how can you be clear on what you want? How can you be clear on your gifts? How can you be clear on your talents and your aspirations and your goals, what God gave you? How? I really want you to think about that. How? So that's why it is important for you to focus on you. And that's why, going back to the other episode when I spoke about the beauty standards, what you're seeing, what you're subscribing to, that also affects that. See, you are the ecosystem. This is your world. There are two worlds, your own personal world and the external world, two. But if you yourself do not have full control over your personal world, there's no way out in the outer world you're going to be able to dominate when you are not clear on you. when you are not disciplined with you. Your switch is not going to happen until you do the work on you, because the switch is your story, right? So it's not going to happen when you are focusing on other people. It's not going to happen, Queen. It's not. When it becomes so infectious, negativity, and we allow it to be. It's a virus, and it permeates everywhere. And that's not what we want to do. You want to be the cure. You make everything better. When you step in the room, you shut it down with your light and your power and your dominance and your excellence and sophisticatedness and all of that, and your know-how and your crown on your head high, knowing who you are and loving who you are, and not trying to appease anyone and not trying to please anyone and not trying to answer to anyone. Do you know what I mean? Different. You move different. You move different. And I'm 43 now. So I'm like, no, I'm grown. The deer's not doing that. It's not doing that. No, I'm grown. And so are you, Queen. So that switch that you need to happen needs to first start happening here and in here, because this heart this is the driver. This is what's connecting this. So if your heart is not geared on you, it's going to be very hard to get this right, to get your mind right, your mindset right, when you're not focusing on you. You got to start doing it, because the world needs what you have. You are amazing. We need more of you in an amazing way, but you need more of you. You need you. Remember, you with you all day, every day. So you need to be kicking it with your best friend. You. But for goodness, for what's right, to be moving forward for what's better, you know? I know you get me, Queen. You know we vibing. I know you get it. I just love you, Queen. I just really want you, just with positivity. You're so strong and powerful. And it is all up to you, and you can do it. And I'm with you. You are not alone in this. This podcast is to help you and remind you about how amazing and special you are. So you got some homework to do, but that's cool. That's a good thing. This is good homework. This is homework on your terms. Again, your terms. Freedom is on your terms. Freedom is on what works best for you. That's freedom. That's a youth. And that is there. And no matter where you go in life, you make sure that you are at peace with you. So that switch that needs to happen, you're focused on you. So takeaways. Number one, you got to get your heart and your mind in the right place. That clean it up. No negativity, only positivity. That's what you got to do. Number two, you need to find out what you're good with. What are you good at? So we get clear on who you are. We spoke about identity, but clear on what you want. I go back to that a lot, because sometimes we're so inundated. We're inundated with so much that we don't know what we want. We don't know what we want. We're being told who we are. We're being told what we want. We're being force-fed things are not true. And we're so filled up with things that are not good for us. And it's not good. So I want you to center yourself. I want you to, number one, center, get your heart right, clean it up, clean up your mind, subscribe to nothing but positivity. And if I'm not saying we shouldn't be aware of what's going on in the world, because there's a lot of darkness. Know what's going on, yes, but don't let it be in a way where it inhibits you and it stumps your growth from being the woman that you need to be. Okay? Remember, two worlds. Can't help the world, can't help the outer world if your first world, if your internal world is not where it needs to be. So we're going to clean that up. Number one, get your mind right. Get your heart right. Okay? Be clear on what you're good at and what your gifts and talents are, and stay in motion and start working on it. Start working on the things that you're good at and you want to do in the future. You want to build. Start doing that. And don't try not to take so much on, again, because I know you have a lot on your plate already. So I can't at all, you're spent. You're doing so much already. And then it's like, oh, now you're saying I have to work on my gift? Yes, I am. But I want you to do it in a time that you are not over exuding yourself. So give yourself, even if it's like 30 minutes a day on your lunch, whatever quiet time, just 30 minutes. Work on your craft, work on your gifts, do it. And prayer, ultimately, that goes without saying, but take it to God. Whatever it is you want, talk to him about it. He will make the way. He is the way. He will provide it for you, because that's what you deserve, Queen. Okay? So I just want you to know it is all love. It will always be love. I'm a tough love girl, but I'm also a big teddy bear as well. And I just want what's right. And I want what's best for you. All of you, wherever you are in the world. So please, please send it to any beautiful queens, probably queens that you know need this, and probably her that you know need this episode or any episode. Send it to them, make their day brighter so they can smile bright, so we can all have the life we truly want. And again, I invite you to one-on-one exclusive with me so we can walk this journey together. So I can help mentor you and coach you on your life and to get you to that future that you really want. So that switch can happen, right? To help you with the switch. And just being stuck, right? Sometimes we get stuck and I can help you get unstuck. God willing. So 101, you got me, and to the show notes, the description, the notes, as well as like, subscribe if you're listening to this on YouTube. Comment about what resonates with you. If there's any topics, as long as it aligns with our show, I would love to address, or if you want that to be a topic, but it's in alignment, as well as on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, my God, on Spotify and Apple to subscribe as well. And just know that this is for you. And I truly want what's best for you. And please know that you're much more powerful than you know. And greatness comes from you. Greatness lives in you. And that you are worth more than gold. And you are powerfully her. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.